Kay won't come back and tell me I'm all wet.
Well, if you exaggerate a little bit, it'll make it a better story, but you'll be fine.
Bring me a piece of chocolate again, Robin. Just Hershey's this time.
Oh, I know, you want a good bar.
No, I don't.
I'm
Nothing with
teasing.
nuts in it, you silly girl.
Special dart?
No. That's nasty.
I'll have a special dart.
They have made them a little better.
Mm. Milk chocolate.
Yeah, that's what I want. We have to get some Halloween candy, by the way. It's going to be Halloween and we won't have any.
Still a ways away.
I hope so.
Okay, Uncle Kay went to a black school?
We moved to California.
Right.
Have we moved to California?
Yeah, we moved to LA at,
Okay.
yeah.
And he must have been 9.
How many years between you and Uncle Kay?
3.
Mm-mm.
If you were 14, then he would have been
12 or 11.
Okay. And they chose up teams, baseball teams. And they made him the referee of
Which
the
three?
team. And here's this the smallest kid in the class. And I told him if he didn't call it right, they'd beat him up with the tire iron. Yeah. Because these are all big, husky, black kids. They don't come small.
What did he call the game right?
He must have. He's still here.
What kind of a game was it, Mom? Baseball?
Baseball.
Ooh. Well, how fun for him.
Uh-huh. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
You don't remember what the name of the school was, do you?
Jefferson.
Jefferson Junior High?
He was 11.
So maybe elementary even.
I think must have been junior high. But who am I?
Because actually, see, yesterday, when we were talking,
Mm-hmm.
when she moved to Los Angeles, she went into the second half, it was springtime, she went into the second half of 11th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 16, and that would have made him
right.
13.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no,
you were-
except she graduated from high school when she was 16.
Why?
We're just so smart.
But
They
Mom,
put her up, they skipped her a grade, first of all.
Well, she left East High School when she was, I think, a sophomore. So that would make her not 14. 14's junior high. You went to East High School, we know that. So she had to be more than,
So 16, probably.
well, unless, let's see, East High School could have been 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th at that point.
Mhm.
Probably was.
Mm-hmm.
So in 9th grade, are you 14 or are you 15? If she was a freshman,
Mm-hmm.
then
She
she
could
would
have
have
been 14 to 15.
Mhm.
But anyway, she graduated.
Did you keep your
I got it all downstairs.
your
Diploma?
grades?
Oh.
You know,
Oh, I don't know
report
about
card.
my
report
grades,
cards. Thank you.
Yeah. But we wore those goofy gym clothes.
What, at East High School or in?
Yeah, East High.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, that was a circus. They came down to the knee, they tucked under, they made a kind of a little balloon under there. Oh my gosh,
Well, you were modest.
extremely modest.
And then you came to California and woo!
Oh, and she had some fun friends when she was in California. She hung out with this nice little group of girls. And
Uh-huh, how nice.
you heard the name Sam Peckinpah?
Yeah.
She hung out with his wife before they were married.
Oh, yeah, Sam Peckinpah is known for his blood and gory
Movies.
westerns.
Yeah, well, either wife or daughter or something.
He married her.
Yeah, he married her. So she wasn't Peckinpah when you were going to school. She was something else.
Something else.
Yeah. And then there was another girl.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
So she went to school with Katherine Grayson, an actress. So,
Very good. I think that was Hollywood High School, or
yeah, what high school did you go to? It was
Monroe.
Dad that went to
no. We went to Monroe, Mom. That was in the
Oh.
Valley.
Oh.
What school did you go to? High school.
It was right
North
there.
Hollywood
Manual
High.
Arts.
Manual
Oh,
Arts.
Manual Arts.
Your dad is the one that went to
Dad
North
went to
Hollywood.
North
Oh,
Hollywood
yeah.
High.
This was a very talented school.
Mhm. Yeah, you said lots of artists.
Lots of Japanese artists.
Mhm. Did you participate in any plays or
No.
no? No drama, no plays.
No.
What about choirs in high school? No, you didn't sing. You just tried to be a good kid and do your homework and
Right.
go to school.
But you remember graduating at 16?
Yep.
Interesting.
Sat
So-
on the bleachers.
What did you do after school? You know, at school days, not after graduation, but you know, you're going to high school and coming home. What did you do after school? Did you have an after-school job, or did you just
Oh, did homework.
homework?
Mm-hmm.
Were you still taking piano lessons then?
No.
Was Grandma working at that point?
Yep, she had two sewing machines, commercial sewing machines, big jobbies, and I helped her return belts.
Turned belts.
You
You know, you sew them and then you have to
You-
turn them right side out.
That's right.
No, I mean a leather belt. Are you talking about belts for men's clothing or women's belts?
Both.
Oh, okay. Because I thought Grandma made pants.
She did.
Yeah, but I think that was.
Maybe these were trousers with belts that matched. You know.
That's right.
So you did the belt turning. That was your
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
That's a nasty job.
It's icky.
Where have you been?
Went to Shopko,
Oh, you took care of Brandon's glasses.
and then after I got back, well, when I got there, he said, you know, I don't need to keep these glasses. Is this running?
Yes, you can push the red button.
Hi.
We're done talking.
Okay. You're on camera.
Hardly wait.
Yeah.
So you helped your mom with sewing.
Yep.
Turned belts.
Well, in this little house,
And where did you live at this time? What city?
we lived just east of Exposition.
Exposition
What do you-
Park.
What do you call that?
It's Griffiths Park. I thought it was.
No, not Griffith Park.
Isn't there a stadium around there or something?
Yeah.
It's
What
the
is that?
it's the stadium, Mom. It's Dodger Stadium.
No, that's the other end of town.
Anaheim Stadium? No, that's
No,
that's an Anaheim.
the other end of town. This is,
Little area now, Mom. We don't live there.
well, it's next to Exposition Park.
Okay, so that's where you lived, and it was a goofy house.
It was a goofy house.
Now it's just got me thinking. Oh, that just bugs me.
Why was it a goofy house?
She said the kitchen was teeny tiny.
Yeah, really itsy bitsy. And it had a round table, as I recall, in the kitchen. And, yeah, it was not a luxurious home. However, it had, in the bedroom, it had little dingle dangles on
Lights
yeah,
on the
Crystal-
lamps.
little
Little crystals.
old fashioned,
Like Nana's?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Except they weren't crystal, they were fabric.
Oh. Tassels.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Well, was your dad then working at Western Gear? Did we get that?
No, we haven't gotten there yet. Where's he?
He
No,
wasn't
I
working
can't
at-
remember what he was doing then.
Oh, okay. So he came to California to get a job. He didn't have a job.
Well, he and Aunt Marion had a job at,
Someplace.
yeah,
Well, it talks about in the history that Uncle Richard came. Oh, no, that was in Utah,
yeah,
where they had the gas station.
right, that was Taylorsville.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he worked with Aunt Marion doing something.
Oh, she was a whiz,
Well, she was in business, wasn't she?
yeah. When she went into Western Gear, she memorized all the little nuts and screws.
I think that was Bethlehem Steel. Did you
Well,
tell
she
me?
worked for Bethlehem Steel first, and then she went to work for,
Oh, I thought you told me she didn't work for Western Gear. So if she worked for Western Gear.
She worked for Bethlehem Steel first.
Yeah, okay, and then she worked for Western Gear, and that's how Grandpa would have gotten the job then.
That's right.
Okay, because we didn't have that clear before.
Now, as we're directing this film, we're gonna have to have you watch your hiccups.
Absolutely.
Let Brad edit them
We'll
out.
have to have an edit.
Afraid so.
Well, did Aunt Marion work for a long time at Western Gear?
Yep.
So they worked together. They were at the same company working at the same time.
Right.
Because I thought she was the secretary to the big wig.
She was.
Oh, so she's the secretary to a vice president at Western Gear, or what was?
Banyan was his name at Western Gear.
And this is when she started buying stock.
Yep.
Okay. So she was his secretary, but she also had memorized all of the little gizmos.
Yeah. She knew all the ins and outs.
So what was, when Grandpa started, well, how old were you when he started working
Yeah.
there? Were you still
Were you
in-
married, or had you? Oh,
I was out of high school.
You were out of high school but not married yet.
Mm.
So as soon as you graduated from high school, then what did you do?
I went to City College. And then I went to,
Did you go 2 years to City College?
yeah. And I started working at the Broadway.
Mm-hmm. And did you start in the gift wrap department or did you end up in the gift wrap department?
I started as a cashier.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was the other way around.
Hmm.
That she started in gift wrap.
So you started as a cashier. Now, tell us about how the Broadway treated people, that it was their life. They had, like, people could shower and get all cleaned up downstairs and,
Yep, they did. They treated them like family.
yeah.
And in the mornings, before the store opened, we had dances on the main floor, the tile floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a fun place to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there always seems to have fun everything.
Mhm.
And when you went to work, didn't you have to be dressed to the nines?
You wore a hat inside the store.
Uh-huh.
You did. And you wore coordinating clothes, black or navy blue.
Hmm. Did you have to wear heels, pumps, or
No. No.
you could wear something a little more comfortable?
Yeah.
What are those?
But the flats were not anything like today.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And did you bring your lunch from home, or did you
Sometimes.
go to the?
They had a
What did they
little
call
coffee
this?
shop. They had
Hmm.
an elegant coffee shop,
Mm.
if you could afford to eat there. They had an employees' coffee shop.
Uh-huh.
How much did you make, Mom? An hour?
$17.62
A day or a
a
week?
day.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's nearly $20 a day, Mom. That'd be $100 a week.
No, not a day, a week.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I was gonna say, my gosh,
You
pulling
were.
in $100 a week.
Yeah.
No.
That would have been $400 a month.
Yeah. Okay, so $17 a week, $17.62
$17.62
a
for a
week.
40-hour week.
Uh-huh. And did you go to, were you still going to church on Sundays, or when you were working at the Broadway?
I did not. Now that's when my brother and my mother went to church.
They took turns.
Uh-huh. So at that point in your life, you were busy doing other things? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Were you dating very much at this time of your life, going out a lot?
Yeah. A lot of guys at the Broadway.
And this was during the war, so a lot of guys were gone.
That's right.
So the guys that stayed, weren't you kind of suspicious of, well, how come you're still here?
Well,
What's wrong with
yeah.
you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
What would you do on a typical date when you'd go on a date back then?
Oh, you know, the beaches were closed during the war. And
You couldn't ever go out on the beach?
they were barricaded
Well, yeah, they
with
probably
barbed
were.
wire.
You didn't want commandos or an invasion force coming up,
That's right.
submarine dropping off people.
Mm.
And they did have that, but at the other end of town.
Mm.
Hmm.
Like Long Beach or something.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
where the German submarine came up. Yeah. We had a lot of picnics. We just got together and yacked.
Mm-hmm. You hung out, as the
We
kids
hung
do
out,
now. We just
yeah.
hung out.
Yeah, we hung out.
Yeah. Did you play cards? Did you get groups together and play cards, or?
No,
Mhm.
did that with my parents.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to movies on
Yeah,
dates?
A lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Did
There were a lot of good movies.
Right, right.
In those days.
Did they have big dance bands?
For 25 cents, you could go on Friday night to the Glendale Civic, on Saturday night to the Pasadena Civic with the big bands.
Mm.
25 cents. And they were chaperoned.
Oh, nice.
And these were the big bands. You didn't have, this was Glenn Miller. You were
Yeah.
dancing to the Glenn Miller's band. He was there.
That's
He was
right.
the one that was performing, and
Yep.
The Andrews sisters.
Absolutely.
The boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
And how old were you when you met Everett?
Oh, it's probably 20. About that.
And you met him at the Broadway.
Yep, I did. When he hurt his arm, the Broadway kind of took him under their wing and helped him medically,
I didn't know that.
and he was the mail carrier. He knew everyone in the store. Yep. And they liked him, that gift of gab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So did he start delivering you mail?
No.
I thought maybe he was plotting a little bit.
I don't think so. Well, his mother worked there. Martha worked there. I don't remember whether Thelma worked there or not. But,
So everybody was just working in a different department?
yep,
And tell me exactly where the Broadway downtown was located.
4th and Hill.
Oh, honey. Not too far from where we got our room. We were Spring and Hill, I think.
It was a steep hill. Yeah.
And so, do you remember the first time you saw Dad?
Oh, it was in the store.
It was in the store?
You bet. Yeah.
Did he flirt with all the girls?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He had a redheaded girl that he was really fond of.
Yeah? Huh.
Mhm.
Well, when did you start dating him? How did you get together?
We went to a dance.
He asked you out? You
Mhm.
just met there?
Yeah,
You just met there?
right.
Oh, so it wasn't a date. You just met there.
You both showed up at the dance, or did he come and get you, pick you up, take you to this dance?
Well, we didn't have cars.
Uh-huh.
I know, but was it a previous arrangement, or did you just accidentally bump into
I
him?
think that night we had a previous
Oh.
arrangement.
Oh.
So it was a date.
Yeah. So you went to a dance with Dad, and that was your first date.
Mhm.
He was a good dancer?
You bet.
Do you remember in the house?
I do remember. I
Oh,
just
okay.
want to make sure. So, were you dating other boys off and on in between all, you know?
You bet.
Mm-hmm. Anyone special, or?
No. I wasn't.
So when was the date where Dad left his wallet?
That was our first date.
So that dance, Dad didn't have his wallet on him.
Martha loaned him her brand new car.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What kind of car was it?
a Ford. But Uncle Frank was a flight instructor in Visalia, the only civilian flight instructor. They didn't have enough to train the military at the beginning of the war.
Uh-huh. Well, let's see.
Now,
the
wait a
war,
minute.
The war hadn't quite started yet, because you and Dad were dating before Pearl Harbor, because he was at your house.
He was at my house on Pearl Harbor.
That's
But
right.
before we get to that, we need to flesh out the not bringing the he didn't have any money with him on that first date,
That's right.
and so who paid to get you in?
We didn't go to the movie. We went We rode to the beach.
Oh, I thought you met at a dance. But was it a movie you were gonna go to?
We were going to the movie.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a dance.
He asked you out to go see a movie. And he forgot his wallet, so you didn't go to the movie, you drove out to the beach.
Yep, and drove back.
Okay. That's a whole different
That's a
scenario.
different date.
Yeah, that was a different date when you went to a dance. Drove out to beach.
He was probably embarrassed.
He was to the teeth
Yeah.
and just teased me unmercifully.
He teased you that he'd forgotten his wallet? Why?
Yeah, and would not loan him the money.
Oh.
Very good, Mom.
Yeah,
good
good
job.
for you.
Don't loan him any money.
But apparently he asked you out again.
You
Okay,
bet.
so this is, now we can go. This occurs before the start of World War II. Right? Probably pretty close to just before. One's World War II, one's Pearl Harbor.
December 7th, 41.
December 7th.
So Mom was younger than 20, because Mom was born in 23, and she was married in 1943. And if this is before World
She's
War,
18.
And
Yeah.
this is 1941. Like,
yeah, so
she's 18 years
she's
old.
18.
Stephanie's age.
Yeah, that's scary.
And Dad was 20.
Yeah.
He was way too young.
But he was cute.
He was an actor.
Yeah.
You better believe it.
So,
So did he dump the redhead when he started dating you?
He was forced into it.
and your parents didn't like him.
No, they did not. He was too...
Can you imagine Grandpa Cutler around Dad? Grandpa that you couldn't get 2 words out of most of the time. There's Dad.
Well, he liked Dad.
Yeah.
I think it was my mother.
Well,
way
he-
too flash.
Yeah,
Right.
too flashy.
Too much flash and dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What impressed you most about Dad when you were dating him?
He was sweet. He really was sweet to me. He looked out for me. We went on the streetcar course, and we were riding home. It was dark. We were riding home on the streetcar, and he just leaned over and gave me a kiss on the streetcar. I was so embarrassed.
You mean he kissed you on the lips?
Yeah.
Oh! Whoa!
Audacious.
Right.
Audacious.
The car jolted.
Yeah.
Did you kiss him back?
No, I did not. I turned my head the other way in case he tried it again.
Was that your first kiss from him? On the
Probably.
streetcar?
Probably.
We ought to ask, was that her first kiss?
Oh,
Period.
yeah.
I had some interesting experiences on the streetcar.
Oh yeah, the guy that tried to pinch your bottom.
Yeah.
It's a street
Trying to get around the hat.
Huh? What hat?
She was wearing a hat.
Oh,
You had to wear a hat to
yeah,
the store.
Yeah.
Mhm. So you had quite a collection of hats, I'm sure.
Oh, I did.
How fun.
Some of them are still downstairs
Where?
In a box.
in a box, in
Oh.
a hat box.
I'll have to look.
She would let her great grandchildren play dress up with. That's why she
Mm.
saved them.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, So you and Dad dated for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
Can you remember when he asked you to marry him?
Yes. Easter Sunday. We went to that park that's on Vermont. It starts with a B.
Have to ask Larry.
God, if you could remember.
He's got Thomasville maps.
Mm.
Did he make any big plans, or it was just?
Didn't really make plans in those days. You couldn't. We were just coming out of the Depression. You trying to get along.
Did he get down on one knee?
We were inside the car.
Oh. And did he ask? Did he say, I'd
Yes,
like to?
yes, yes. He did it all.
Did he ask your dad first?
Yep.
Oh.
My dad said yes.
Uh-huh. Ah.
He was probably glad to pick her.
Was it a surprise for you?
Did you know it was coming?
Not then.
Did your parents supervise you really closely in the activities of your teenage and after high school years? Did they keep track of you real closely?
Too much. Well, we were, not having any money kind of is a restriction in itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just getting by was a chore.
Was he concerned that your family was Mormon and he was not?
Heavens no.
No, his best friend was it elementary school or high school? Mel Merrill.
North Hollywood High.
Yeah, so his best friend in high school had been a Mormon. And he'd gone to activities, mutual activities, played ball and...
Yeah, he did all the fun stuff that LDS kids do.
Yeah.
He just didn't join the church.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did it bother your mom and dad that he wasn't a member of the church?
I don't think so. Not then.
Yeah.
When we had children, that's when the pressure.
Mhm.
From them?
Yeah.
So how long were you engaged before you got married?
Well, we went together 3 or 4 years before we got married. Mhm.
So do you remember what year you got engaged? You said it was Easter Sunday. Was that 19?
And then you got married in October, so was it Easter and then October that you got married, or was it?
A longer period of time.
A year and a
than
half
that.
maybe,
Yeah,
that you were engaged.
Wow.
maybe 2 years.
That's a long engagement.
What year were you married?
In 43.
In 43.
October 17th.
60 years ago.
63. Oh, 60.
60.
All right, so my math's off.
Now, tell us about sitting and listening to the radio when they announced Pearl Harbor.
Oh my. We were just going to sit down for Sunday dinner. It was in the evening. And the president came on in that melodious voice and said, "We are announcing we are at war. Pearl Harbor has just bombed,
The
been
Japanese.
bombed." Mhm.
And didn't Dad say he wanted to go home? Or
Yep,
yeah,
he did. Wanted to go home with his mommy and daddy.
yeah.
Mhm.
So while you were engaged during these war times, was he trying to enlist even though you were already engaged?
Absolutely. They wouldn't have anything to do with him.
I know.
He tried all the services,
Mm-hmm.
tried everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that just, I don't, if he could have been a desk jockey somewhere.
What he should have done, he should have gone into sports. He would have been a wonderful
Coach?
coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that?
She said we would have been penniless if he'd gone into sports.
Not today.
Mm-hmm. So, at how old was Uncle Kay when he enlisted?
16.
And they took him at 16?
Right out of high school.
Oh, wow.
Glad to get him.
Huh, let's see. We'd have to figure out dates to see if he was 16 or if he was 18 when the war started in 41.
When was he born?
When is Uncle Kay's,
He's
Well, there's
3 years younger than me.
1926.
26.
okay, so 26 to 36. Yeah, he was
He was 15
in 40.
when the war
Mhm,
broke out.
mhm.
So he was
Was.
16. Wow. Did he lie about his age to get in, or they just took him?
No, they took him.
They probably had to, at 16, they probably got parents' permission, but they drafted, would take people at 16, not 15, but 16.
Out of high school.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, even if you dropped out and your parents signed, you could volunteer to go at 16.
That's right. And he was on a destroyer, the first one to go into Japanese harbor.
Mhm. At the end of the war?
Yeah. He hated it.
Did he see quite a bit of combat?
Yes, he did.
It gave him nightmares.
Yeah. And he doesn't talk about it. Like some other fella I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What was the name of the harbor in Japan?
I'm sure it's Tokyo.
Probably Tokyo Bay.
Yeah.
And so during those war years, and you're engaged to Dad, things probably got tight. Everything was being rationed.
Sugar, lard, didn't have shortening. Yeah.
Sugar, lard.
Shoes.
I know,
coats,
I know.
luggage.
Gasoline is.
Yeah. Rubber,
Oh,
anything
yeah,
rubber.
that was
Gasoline,
terrible.
rubber.
Leather.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
That's probably why luggage and shoes were.
Right.
What were they using leather for?
Luggage, shoes,
No, but I mean
For
for
the
the,
boots.
for
The
the boots.
boots.
the boots,
Okay.
and seats, and
Mhm.
lots of other things.
Uh-huh.
So how did you make do?
Well, what do you mean? How?
Well, now are you
You went-
aren't, let's see, you get married in
43.
43. When's the war over?
45.
45.
May and August.
So when you go to make a cake, what are you gonna do?
I made good cakes.
I'm sure you did, Mom, but without a lot of sugar. I mean,
We didn't, you rationed the sugar.
uh-huh.
You didn't have an egg beater. You had the
Uh-huh. The hand crank?
hand crank.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a thermostat on my oven. That was interesting. But, yeah, my mother-in-law, my dad, my father-in-law loved to come and have cake.
So you did do a good job.
Yeah.
You bet. And Annie Martha and Annie Thelma Nana could not make a cake.
See, it was hereditary, because
Yeah.
Annie Martha couldn't make a cake
Yeah.
either.
No, she couldn't make a box cake.
I know. And she used to tell us that,
Yeah.
that she
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
But a pie, she could whip out a pie and nothing flat.
Annie Martha?
Mm. And it was good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So you stayed working at the store along with Everett all through the
No,
war?
no, I did not. I
She did something.
I got a better job at the Gear, Western Gear.
Oh, you worked there too? Oh my gosh.
Well, by then, wasn't it doing war stuff?
I
Yeah.
was making war equipment.
So you were one of those,
Yeah, one of
what are those
those.
called, those girls?
Rosie the Riveter.
I didn't do that. I just worked in the shop.
Doing
I,
what?
no, I did not make nuts and bolts. I did not do that. I
Uh-huh.
did office work.
Okay.
So you were a secretary. And was Dad still working at the Broadway? Did he go into the furniture
No,
department
he
then?
went into the furniture department.
Do you want to drink water? Sip a
In a
Sprite?
minute, in a minute.
Okay.
And Dad was working in the furniture department.
Is your throat too sore to talk anymore?
Well, it's sore to drink,
Yeah.
sore to eat.
It hurts to swallow.
Mhm. No, but
Well, there's a story about Dad working in the furniture department, but we can get to that.
Well, we haven't done
That's-
Dad yet.
Yeah, that's way at the, okay.
yeah.
So he started in the mailroom at the Broadway and went from the mailroom into,
Well, didn't he start buying furniture for the Broadway store? Isn't that where he got his connection with furniture?
He was,
Well, no, he was the dresser too. He dressed
Yeah.
the windows. Mail carrier, window dresser.
he dressed the windows
Then
with a bunch of fruity tooty guys that drove him up the wall.
well, I'm glad they drove him up the wall. I'm glad he didn't join their persuasion.
Right, and he got mad at this one really fruity kid and socked him and lost his job.
Dad lost his job because he punched out a kid.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
fruity kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't take it any longer.
Oh, dearie me. Well, maybe he was flirting with him.
I doubt it.
Okay, so he punched some kid, lost his job, then what did he do?
That's when he got interested. Well, the Broadway hired him to be the lamp and picture buyer.
And that's what Cal said. That's where he started to make the connections so that he could,
Right.
when he got fired, he had
Yeah.
a connection to go to.
But they fired him because he hadn't been to Harvard.
Oh, the Broadway fired him because
He didn't have a business
He-
degree.
yeah.
Didn't have a degree.
to be the buyer. Because we all know you need that.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, dear.
And he wouldn't go back there and live and get that degree.
Hmm.
That was his old stomping ground.
Yeah.
He would have been gone back to where he started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wonder why he didn't want to do that.
That was money, so much money. That would have cost so much. Would the Broadway have paid for him to go back? And
I doubt it.
yeah, I can't imagine how he would have had enough money, because Harvard would have been expensive even then.
Yeah. Well, were you married by that point or not?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And when you, are we ready to get married yet? Are we?
Anything else you can think of that was kind of unique and fun during that period of time?
Between when you got engaged and when you got married, all
Those
things
years.
that went on, those,
Did you ever have a fight before you got married?
We had arguments, you bet.
what'd you argue about?
Everything and anything. You know, Dad.
Well, yeah, he liked discussions.
Yes. And I finally got to the point where we were going over to Auntie Thelma's, and I said, I don't want to go if you're going to raise your voice.
Impossible.
Mm.
I remember lots of times being at Annie Martha's. Do you remember that when we were kids? Oh my goodness. He just purposely would bait Annie Martha.
Oh, absolutely.
And
They
then
baited
she
each
would-
other.
She'd get going, and then he'd get going, and Uncle Frank, he'd just go, "Meh," and he'd go get himself a beer. Just let the two of them go at it. And,
Yeah.
yeah, he was like, oh, it's those two, you know.
Sibling rivalry.
They just enjoyed it. I think that it was something they
I
had
think they
done
grew up with
all
it.
their lives, and they
Yeah.
just enjoyed that kind of, and they'd laugh, and Dad would just get such a kick out of it, and
Yeah.
cackle. You know how he'd cackle
Mhm.
and really get under Annie Martha's skin.
Well, did you know Dad's parents real well? Did you spend much time with them at all after you were married?
Mhm. We did. His dad liked me.
Yeah.
His dad was kind to me. He protected me.
From? Was he protecting you from something?
Probably from the language,
Oh, yeah.
because that family
Yeah.
had a language of their own
Mm-hmm.
that I was not used to. So he did.
Mm-hmm. Well, your culture was so different than theirs. They were back east people.
Yep.
They smoked and drank, which you didn't. And so there would be a... But you got along so well with your sister-in-laws.
Oh,
Really, they really genuinely cared for you, and you cared for them, because
absolutely.
they spent a lot of time
Mhm.
coming to our home
Every week. they
and
came.
sitting around the kitchen table and having their coffee and their smokes
Mhm.
and chatting, and
Tuna
you
sandwich.
always had a cake or something for them to eat.
Yes,
And they genuinely enjoyed that.
they did.
They really did. That wasn't made up. They
No.
really did enjoy coming and just visiting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Nice
nice.
relations.
Very close family.
Mm-hmm.
We should, when we get further down the road, we'll have to tell the stories about the always the summer get-togethers
Barbecue. Mm-hmm.
in Huntington. Well, in
The
Huntington
beach.
Beach, where they have the
Oh,
big barrels.
The
Well, no, they have
fire
the big
irons.
the big trash cans full of
Yeah,
soda
yeah,
pop and
right,
ice,
right,
and then
right.
the big trash cans full of beer and ice, and roasting the hot dogs and yeah,
Cooking the hamburgers.
hamburgers. That was a,
Making sure that you kids knew where your clothes were when
Right.
it got dark.
I know,
Right,
yeah.
right.
And that was a big group when we all got together. That
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
a lot of people the time we all got there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, those were great. Great times.
Well, last night we went to, the beach on Thanksgiving last night. Were you there?
I think I missed that one.
Well, you missed a whole bunch. And the plastic bags full of dry clothes and coats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then after we played, it was a little bit brisk.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving would be cold.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well, even in the summer, I
We-
always thought that it got
Yeah,
cold.
when the sun went down.
Yeah, but we changed those kids' clothes and put them in the plastic bags and took off. Those were fun times.
Yeah, they are. Where was your first home? You have to, well, you better tell us about getting married. What do you remember about your wedding?
Yeah.
Well, that day, Fred had a heart attack that morning. And so Nana didn't come to the wedding.
And
What?
Dad must have been really worried about, I mean, can you imagine, it's your
Well,
wedding day and your father's
what
having a
happened
heart
to-
attack?
Yeah.
To Cal. Yeah.
What did you call your mother-in-law?
Well, I called her Nana after we had
I
children.
know, but before then.
In the early years, you just got married, what did you call,
Did you call her Jenny?
or did you call her mother?
No, I didn't call her mother. I probably called her mom. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondered, what did you call,
Fred.
yeah, Grandpa Fred?
He was Fred.
Oh,
You
so
called him Fred.
Mm-hmm.
What did Dad call him?
Dad.
Okay.
And after his father passed away, he said, I didn't get to tell my dad that I loved him.
Which dad?
Fred.
Grandpa Fred or his
Grandpa
own
Fred.
father?
Oh, Grandpa Fred.
Oh. He'd never told him that he loved him, or he died and he hadn't had another opportunity? Okay.
I'm assuming that's
I'm
what
sure. His dad was very loving,
Mhm.
and I'm sure.
Well,
So,
he used to go by there after work and
Mm-hmm.
sit and chat with
Mhm.
those two and, yeah.
Okay, so your father-in-law had a heart attack in the morning. Nana didn't come to the wedding.
So what facility did you get married in?
Oh, what's that picture of, Mom?
Yeah. Where are you in that?
What's the name of, do you know what church it was?
I can't remember.
But it wasn't an LDS church
It was
building?
not an LDS church. We had an LDS wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So a bishop performed.
Bishop Peck from Pasadena
Mhm.
was Uncle Glenn's counselor.
Oh, uh-huh.
what did you do for a wedding dress?
I had a short blue crepe dress, little black hat,
Did you get it at the Broadway?
probably.
And so you got it new for your wedding?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And your parents were there?
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
and my grandma.
And your grandma?
Hmm. Grandma Allred,
Mm-hmm.
not Grandma Cutler.
Oh, she was there.
No, she would have died.
Oh, she was gone by then.
Yeah.
No, no, not your mother. Your father's mother, Grandma Cutler.
Oh, yeah, she was long gone.
Oh,
She
okay.
died in
Because I
29.
never knew her.
Yeah, okay. But all the siblings were there.
Uncle Kay, was he
Uncle-
there or was he off at
Uncle
war?
Billy, Uncle
I
Dickie.
think Uncle Billy was at sea,
Oh, okay, yeah, he would have been.
and Uncle Dickie was at sea.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Because we have pictures of them, you know, and they're all in
Right,
their
right.
uniforms.
Uncle Dickie was on the big ship that they signed the,
Oh, the armistice,
Yeah.
Missouri,
yeah,
Battleship Missouri. I've been on that
really?
Yeah.
Where?
a couple of times.
Is
It used to be in Bremerton, Washington, the Naval Yard. And then it was re-outfitted to go to Vietnam.
Hmm.
And after that, I think it went to California, and I don't know where it's at now.
Mhm. And what kind of a ship is that?
It's a battleship. 18-inch guns. Fires a shell that weighs as much as a Volkswagen, 20-some miles.
That would do some damage. Words!
You're talking a shell like that,
Yeah.
that's probably 4 feet long.
Yeah.
Huge guns.
You wouldn't want to be in its way.
You wouldn't know if you had been.
No, yeah, that's true. And that could be a very good thing.
What do you remember most about your wedding day?
Well, we had the wedding ceremony. We went back to my house. My mom probably made coffee.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Did you have like cake or
Wedding
cookies
I
or?
don't remember.
Mhm.
And we left. Drove to Laguna.
For your honeymoon.
Yeah.
And how long did you get to stay?
We probably stayed there 3 or 4 days. Could have stayed longer, but he was worried about
His dad.
Oh, yeah.
So did his dad recover?
Oh, yeah, lived for many years. Mhm. I'm getting a tummy ache. What time is it? Can I do something else?
Oh, well, let's
Quarter
ring for
four.
the nurse.